We begin this chapter with wild places in the southernmost part of South America. Patagonia. This wild place is shared by Chile and Argentina. Western Patagonia is a land of snow-covered peaks and blue glacial lakes. In Chile, the Torres del Paine National Park is named for these three granite peaks, Towers of Paine. This popular hiking destination is the very definition of a wild place. The guanaco is the most common mammal in the park, and that's a good thing for the endangered puma, the apex predator in the park. The park's also home to numerous birds, large and small. On the Argentine side is Los Glaciares National Park. The Perito Moreno Glacier is a major attraction. It's part of the southern Patagonia ice field, the fourth largest ice cap in the world, behind Antarctica, Greenland, and Iceland. The terminus of Perito Moreno Glacier is 3.1 miles wide, with an average height of 240 feet above water and another 300 underwater. In 2012, we strapped on crampons and went for a glacier trek. In 2018, we took it easy and spent some time bird watching. And admiring the wildflowers. Next, we move north to the Galapagos archipelago. With human settlements allowed on only 2 islands, this intentionally is a wild place. The Galapagos volcanic hotspot sits on the junction of 3 tectonic plates. Volcanoes have been active here, building islands over 20 million years. The hotspot is slowly moving west. The oldest islands have had time for vegetation to take over the lava fields, while the western islands are fields of lava and cinders. But if you look close, you can find pioneering plants and animals. Each island takes a unique path, with the plants and animals evolving in different ways. The prickly pear is a common cactus on several islands. But on some islands with tortoises, it grows to an unusual tree form. Tortoises on those islands have developed a saddleback shell and a long neck to reach the pads of the cactus. Darwin's finches are striking examples of this phenomenon. On islands with cactus, the finches evolved beaks specialized to eat cactus. The large ground finch has a large, short beak specialized for cracking nuts. The gray warbler finch are found in scrublands and dry forests of smaller, drier islands. The sharp-beaked ground finch is found in upland areas on some islands. The medium ground finch forages on the ground for small, soft seeds. In all, there are 26 species of Darwin's finches, with a diverse beak form and function specifically adapted to different food sources. Charles Darwin described the land iguana as an ugly animal with a singularly stupid appearance. Marine iguanas are unique in that they dive into the ocean and graze on seaweed. Researchers theorize that the land iguana and the marine iguana evolved from a common ancestor some 8 million years ago. The Humboldt Current flows north along the west coast of South America, bringing nutrient-rich waters to the islands. The resulting upwelling creates rich undersea life. which supports a large number and variety of seabirds which breed on Galapagos. The lava gull is the rarest gull in the world. It's only found here. There are an estimated 300 to 600 individuals left. The Galapagos penguin is the only penguin found north of the equator. The cool Humboldt current allows it to survive despite the tropical climate. The Galapagos are a unique place where you can see Mother Nature at work in her laboratory. Our next wild place is the Namib Desert in Africa. It stretches 1,200 miles from Angola to South Africa, including the entire coast of Namibia. It's been arid or semi-arid for 55 to 80 million years, making the Namib the oldest desert in the world. The desert has sand seas along the coast. That's the Atlantic in the background. Further inland, there are gravel plains and scattered mountain outcrops. The Namib is almost completely uninhabited by humans, except for some small settlements and indigenous herders like these Himba. Due to its age, the Namib may have more endemic species than any other desert. The Namunkwa chameleon becomes dark in the cool mornings to absorb heat, and then lighter in the afternoon during the heat of the day. It can show both colors at once, dark on one side and light on the other. Several species of beetle take advantage of the morning fog off the ocean by standing with their heads down and letting water condense on their backs and run down to their mouths. This venomous adder buries itself just under the sand with only its eyes exposed and waits for a lizard or gecko to come by. The shovel-snouted lizard uses its snout and legs to bury itself completely in the sand in less than a second. The welwitschia is called a living fossil. The age of individual plants are difficult to assess, but many plants may be over 1,000 years old, and some over 2,000. Several seasonal rivers flow from the mountains of the interior into the Namib. The water provides an oasis for wildlife, but it rarely makes it to the ocean. We visited the Namib Valley to find the desert elephant. These elephants are not recognized as a subspecies of African elephant, but they have adapted to a desert life. They have smaller bodies, broader feet, and longer legs. They can walk up to 40 miles in a night to move between water holes and food sources. Since there is little grass to graze in the Namib, the elephants are browsers, eating the buds, seed pods, and leaves of trees and bushes. One of their favorites is the Anna tree. While we were in the Namib Valley, there was a thunderstorm in the hills. A flash flood flowed down the Namib River before being absorbed into the sand. The elephants celebrated the first rain in over 6 months by taking a mud bath in the riverbed. The most popular and most photographed tourist attraction in Namibia is Sossusvlei. Strictly speaking, this is Sossusvlei, which means dead end marsh. But it's not nearly as photogenic as the nearby Dead Vlei, so the whole area is referred to as Sossusvlei. These camelthorn trees are believed to have died 600 or 700 years ago as the seasonal flow of the Chau River no longer provided enough water for them to survive. The wood doesn't decay because it's so dry here. The high dunes in the area make for great early morning photography. Our last wild place is the Okavango Delta in northern Botswana. We fondly remember several trips to various camps around the delta, but on our trip in 2019, it was a little disappointing. The Okavango is an endorheic basin, meaning it has no outflow. Basically, the waters of the Okavango River fan out across the delta and disappear into the Kalahari. In 2010, the delta was a water wonderland with abundant wildlife and beautiful vistas. On our last visit in 2019, water levels were at an all-time low, and there were wildfires on the delta. But there is hope. As of February 2020, the water levels were at the highest point they've been in the past 5 years. However, experts say that the new normal may be more like 2019 than 2010, so I'm glad we had the experience then. That's not to say that the Okavango is not worth a visit. You can still see amazing wildlife. I think the big cats may be more relaxed and somewhat easier to find. The same goes for wild dogs. Grazing animals seem more plentiful and approachable. There are still some amazing birds, maybe just not as plentiful. The sunsets will still be spectacular, just without the reflection on the water. And the people will always be some of the friendliest in Africa.